All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. So, I decided to go live earlier today because today's MLK Day, so I have the day off. Most people have the day off. So, the equities market is not going to be open. Obviously, crypto's open, and we could go over that. But yeah, pretty much just going to recap yesterday and the news that we can expect for this week when tomorrow opens up. And yeah, so and hopefully, let me actually disconnect my Wi-Fi, and it should be better now. Okay, I think it's good. So yeah, so if we remember yesterday when I went live, I talked about the news that would be coming out this week. So we have core PCE data, price consumer expenditure report, I believe is what it stands for. So it's another major gauge of inflation that the Fed uses to decide whether it's going to cut interest rates. We said that we weren't going to get an interest rate cut this month. Let me just check the percentage on the interest rate cut. Remember last time it was around 5%, so really no chance of getting an interest rate cut this month. So let me just look it up really quick. Look at the percentage. So it's still at 5%. So yeah, no chance of getting a rate cut this month. But again, that PCE report is telling for future rate cuts in the coming months. They'll probably use that data to gauge whether they're going to do that. I don't think it has the power to switch that 5% all the way to 90% unless it just comes back terrible, which I don't think that's going to happen from a month to month basis. So yeah, also what we spoke about yesterday was earnings report, so we could look forward to that this week. There are a lot of companies coming out with earnings. So I think Netflix was one of the companies, 3M, United Bank Corp, and there was somebody else, I forget. But that's going to be telling as well. Remember, we said that it not only speaks to the company. If it's a bigger company that reports earnings and it has a big influence on consumer spending, consumer services, and things like that. For instance, Netflix. Everybody has a Netflix account. So if Netflix reports terrible earnings, it could suggest people are dropping down from subscribing and not paying that subscription. It not only says that Netflix is doing bad, it also tells, okay, maybe people don't have that additional money to spend on Netflix. And 3M, I forget, 3M is like that tape stuff. So a lot of house projects and things like that. I'm not sure how much tape is usually bought for house projects, but that could also be a telling sign as well. So yeah. And okay, so now I was taking a look at crypto prices last night. I look at them pretty much every day since I'm invested in the space. And the market has sold off. I mean, if we take a look at BTC, yesterday I was saying BTC was at 95,000. Now it's at 93. So a drop of 2,000. So over the weekend, this is really not too shocking because remember, if you like, the liquidity is very small over the weekend. So to move prices is very easy. Like last week, prices over the weekend went up on Saturday and Sunday, and then kind of sold off a little bit when Monday opened back up. So this week, when we have sell-off over the weekend, it could be a telling sign on what we can expect coming Tuesday, but it's not necessarily a definitive thing. And there's one thing I can point to that maybe it's crashing the market, and it's this thing with these new tariffs. So apparently the new administration has imposed new tariffs. So it says on January 17th, the administration announced new tariffs on 8 European countries that have opposed the proposal to purchase Greenland or sent military personnel there for and I don't think it's for acquisition, but they're just the purchase of Greenland and the sending of military personnel. So basically, 8 European countries have been threatened with tariffs if they intervene in any one of those two things. So again, I'm not sure if the administration is I mean, obviously, maybe some consideration on purchasing Greenland and then also sending military over there. So the affected countries are Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland. So I don't think this is negative for crypto, but remember when we had the tariff news back in April of 2025, or I believe it was around May, it was negative for the market because it was just uncertainty. We didn't know when we were going to come to a deal, and the equities market went down. Hopefully, this is not freezing. Hopefully, we can get this to stay still. The equities market went down, and obviously, the crypto market right now closely follows the equity market, and the market does not like inefficiencies in both ways. Okay, so it could go down or up. If there's an inefficiency, it causes volatility. The market wants stability, reassurance, and they want to know what's coming. But when you have tariffs that were, remember in April, they were like 80, 90%, and you don't know when that's going to stop, then that's uncertainty for the market. So the initial rate of the tariff for these European countries is 10% tariff on all goods from these countries effective February 1st, 2026. So that's around the corner. So that could, again, potentially affect the market. Escalation, the rate is scheduled to rise to 25% on June 1st. So in my opinion, that is a tactic. Okay, set it up for the first, and then 6 months later, if we don't get what we want, raise it to 25%. So they always try to throw out these future dates so that way they have ways to manipulate the market in the future, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that's what has crashed the market. The altcoins have seen, obviously, when Bitcoin falls a lot, altcoins fall a lot further. And we've seen over the weekend 10 to 5 or probably 5 to 10% drop in altcoins, where there was like a 2 to 3% drop in Bitcoin. So yeah, I think from yesterday, my live stream yesterday into to this morning, basically a huge drop in crypto, which could signal a a, a bearish week ahead. Now, it doesn't always mean that. Again, holiday week, and this happened on the weekend, so the liquidity is light. So it's not for certain that it's going to be a bearish week. It's just how the week starts. And honestly, it probably is the opposite, because usually when we have a bullish weekend, people are saying it's not sustainable, it's thin liquidity, and it's usually true. Monday, Tuesday open up, we get like some type of sell-off. So maybe the opposite, where we have a sell-off during the weekend, and then we rebound hard during the week. Also with crypto, it looks like the CEO, I mentioned this yesterday, the CEO of Coinbase is getting with banks. People are optimistic on this on X, and they said we could possibly get a bill signed within the next month. But as I mentioned yesterday, we are going to get this exemption from the SEC that they said they were going to give on crypto until a bill is finalized. So I think either way for crypto, as far as the new rulings and new regulation, I think it's going to be bullish for us in the next month or so. Okay. So let me check my mic to make sure it's working. Let me check my mic. Give me a second. The new rulings and new regulation, I think it's going to be bullish for us in the next month or so. Okay. So let me check my mic to make sure it's working. Let me check my mic. All right. Mic. I think it's pretty much good. Okay, so let's play a few games of chess. I played a decent amount yesterday. I was able to keep my score over 1300. It did get close to the low 1300s, and I almost slipped into the 1200s, but I was able to pull it back up. So hopefully today I could get it 2 to 3 wins. I'm not sure if I'm going to play 2, 3 games, but yeah, not much happening with the market. Again, the equities market is closed. Crypto is tanking for now, but we'll see when the market opens up during the week. And yeah, should be interesting. All right, so let's play. Is that right? He took the pawn? Maybe he blundered? I'm not sure. I knew he was going to do that. Oh my goodness. What the heck was I doing? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I was not paying attention. And I was being set up the whole time. Chalk it up to it being my first game of the day. I don't count that one. Okay, I think we should be fine. Should be fine there. Okay. I see that. Should be okay. Should be fine. Wait. Am I reading this? I was like, why is it not letting me? I think I should be fine. That. Yeah, I should be fine with that. Should be fine. Okay, let's see. Can't go there. All right, let's see. Darn it. All right, I lost. All right, that was a good one. All right, I gotta be focused this game. Focused. Let's get rid of that. Let's castle. Let's get rid of that. Is that a good move? I'm not sure. Oof. There we go. There we go. Go. Just gotta trade off pieces right now. Yeah, right now he's just moving very quickly. Yeah, let's trade. Let's do that. Can't protect too. Let's go. Yeah, what are you gonna do, buddy? That's right. You got nowhere to go. Where to go? Give me that piece over here. That's what happens when you come back. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna end that with that. It's a little bit early to be playing chess. It's good to end off with a W, so that's what I'm gonna do it with. So yeah, not much. Again, today's close is a holiday, so the equities is not open. Crypto is selling off over. It sold off over the weekend, selling off this morning. So it looks like it's because of the tariff news, but I just think it's because of the liquidity over the weekend, and it's thin. So we could get a bounce back pretty quick as the market opens. There's a lot of people on X calling for a really bearish week. Could be, who knows, but more to come. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.